Alright, so maybe just lie on the ground for me.
Okay, so if you want your opponent on his back, you just very politely say, you lie on the ground for me, and then, you know, he'll do that. It happened to me in a street fight. Would you please just put the knife down and lay down, and then he did it, and I won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now on the ground, now in catch wrestling, we have a concept about gripping. Alright, and gripping is essentially to cause pain in the person to do what you want them to do. So for example, if he's hiding his arm here, and I want to get his arm here, I just rip on the ribs, and then I get, so if the person, and you know a lot of BJJ guys, they know never to give the arm out, otherwise they can get arm bar and rubber dog, right? So I want to get this arm, he wouldn't let me get the arm, so that's fine. I take my elbow and I put it into his ribs, and that's going to release the arm here, okay? And this is where I get hold of the top wrist lock from here. Now, this is called top wrist lock. It's not an American.
It's not a Kimura, it's not an Ameircan.
Yeah, it's a top wrist lock, and so that's why a lot of BJJ confuse it. Like they think I don't know how to do a proper Ameircan. It's just a different kind of arm lock from here, or wrist lock from here. So from here, you want to twist it and bring it down from here. Now, there are a few ways you can do it. In Royals, they have multiple submissions. So here they have one. They go around the neck. They hold it, and they stretch out from there. I have both. Now I could have done it more but I would have cranked the neck real hard. All right. So,
well, that was my shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the neck, it was the shoulder.
Yeah. So just to show, there will be two submissions from here. That's something we catch wrestling, multiple submissions. One in the shoulder here. This would have been a neck crank. Because if I brought it together and I would stretch it out, it would be a combination.
So let me just see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, in catch, right?
Yeah.
It's all about punishing, right?
Yeah.
So you just put all your weight on your face,
right.
like this, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the ribbing, right?
It's part of the ribbing, and then
okay.
so you're priming it, so you're holding your hand here, but the other hand is going to go on my ribs there.
Okay, and I'm going to do the ribs.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to let go, and then that would be part of the submission from here. Now if the person is strong, right? You can't get your arm locked straight from here.
Right.
This hand goes underneath my neck. Hold on now, extend both arms, and it brings up as well.
Oh my God, now I see it. Okay. Just a moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at this. I go up here,
that's right.
And what's happening here, exactly what the master taught us yesterday, that using your forearm to push the head, and it's pushing it to the side, not up. That's the mistake I was making. I was trying to go up.
Yeah.
I need to go this way.
Exactly.
Make them do this. Good, I like that.
So that is a double submission from there as well.
Yeah, a lot of the catch submissions are double, because a lot of it is too because you're holding the wrist, so it may even want it like triple on that one. Maybe you're going to get a wrist.
Yeah.
Also, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's something that is really good as well.
Jeez, that's cool.
A lot of times when you take someone's back in BJJ,
right,
you're probably going to think, oh, the guy's going to do a chokehold.
Right.
Given that catch wrestling doesn't allow chokeholds, strangulations is called it, you have to submit someone.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. In catch wrestling, you're allowed to grind your elbows on people's face and ribs. You're allowed to do just horrible things to their bodies and joints. Not allowed to choke them, and they actually call it chokes strangulations.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they have, like, for catch wrestlers, they love to ride with people. Now, riding is a great concept of catch wrestling, because in those days, catch wrestling has no time limit in competitions, right? You could go for hours.
Right.
And so
the World Championship, the last World Championship that was ever held, the match lasted 11 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So given that long period of time, you really got to know how to conserve your energy by riding and making sure your opponent carries their full body weight. So they have something called they call it Sunday night ride or something like that. So you're on your horse, right? And they have this thing called the Saturday night ride from here, right? So they ride the person from here, but then I can slide down, all right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm going to ride him. It's called riding. And then as I slide, I'm going to insert this leg here. And then I'm going to insert, as you can see, my shin bones on his calf from here. And then as I'm going to do, now I'm going to use my elbow to kind of ram him in the butt so that he falls back. And I have it in a half slider from there.
So I get it. I like this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I grab here first.
Yep.
Now I turn here. Then I just drop.
Yeah, that's right.
So here.
Okay. I just drop my thigh from here.
Okay, so she's grabbing my thigh right here, and there's no way I can throw her at that point. And you probably know I'm getting a choke. I'm going to have to let go with one of my hands.
Yeah, exactly.
To defend, and as soon as I do, you're going to be in a better kind of a choking position. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, cool.
So as long as you can see it coming, it's a great.
Yeah. But unfortunately, that's true of any of the over-the-shoulder throws. Very easy to counter, but you have to see them coming. If you just go for like a standard, like judo over the shoulder.
Right.
But yeah. So look, I mean, all I have to do is if I push on her back, she can't throw me. If I step around here, she can't throw me. You know, if I hook a leg, if I hook her head, but unfortunately, guys do it very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what though? That's another point about judo versus wrestling. That particular throw, the judo guys work on that. I watch the judo team practice at the same time we practice wrestling, and I would say like half of their day is that one throw.
Yeah.
That is like the base of everything they do is that one throw, because if you get it in judo, you instantly get a win.
Yes.
So it's literally like 50% of their training time is spent on that one throw, which means when they do it, you're generally not going to count it. Because wrestlers know that throw, but unless your individual choice is to practice it all the time, you're not going to be nearly as fast at that.
Exactly. And the thing about wrestling is that you transition very fast. If one takedown doesn't work, you're going to be sure that the guy's going to catch you in another. And it happens so fast, you're going to get into one.
Which in catch wrestling parlance is called chaining. Chaining means you go from one submission, he fights his way out, you go to the next one, the next one, the next one. And you may not even want the first one. You wanted the 10th one, but you got to wear him down to get there.
Yeah, and Billy Robinson was an amazing teacher. Like, he could tell you like 5 steps ahead of you. Like, you could say, okay, do this, and then you could lead into a submission without you even knowing it.
I played chess against a grandmaster one time. He could think so far ahead that when I sat down on the table, as soon as I sat down, I hadn't even touched the piece yet. He said checkmate. Wow, man, you're good. No, yeah, he was good. He knew.
So if my hand is here, this hand's going to shoot up and across, back. Alright? Then from here, I'm going to turn and start to sit. Okay. Right smack
in Greco-Roman wrestling, we do that too, and actually, you're taught to hit the guy so hard with your forearm that it like makes him woozy, and it's the only time you're actually allowed to hit somebody in wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you just come up there, and just, bam. Yeah.
Well, just to comment, it's quite funny for wrestling, right? So if, like, you could hit the person, but you cannot like let go of the contact.
Right.
So otherwise, you call it like, oh, that's a disqualification.
Right. Yeah, you can't just come out and like do this, which I would love to do, but no.
You just stay and hold it there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go. So it's from collar and elbow, right?
And then this arm shoots across and over here. So it goes all the way over, and then you step.
Nice. And of course. And you can crank from here, right?
Yeah, like a crank.
Horrible, man, crank from here. However, you're not generally going to win here.
Yeah.
Against an experienced guy because this hand is free.
Yeah.
So they're going to come up and put your hand in your face or whatever. And you're going to fight. Yeah. But then you go to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. However, when I teach the beginners, I tell them, you do this to another beginner, you're going to win.
Oh yeah. The one thing that we got to remember in catch wrestling is always pins involved.
That's right, that's right. So if you're fighting pin rules, even though your hand is free, you only have 3 seconds to get off your back. See, because when I compare Asian wrestling to American wrestling, in America, in a semester of high school, you might have anywhere from 18 competitions to, if you win the championships and advance, whatever, it could be like 20 or 30 in one semester. And the guys over here in Asia, they might get like 4 a year or 3 a year or less, So even if women were involved in wrestling, like if you were doing, I don't know, every country has wrestling, right? But then how often are you competing? That's the thing.
So I think it's exposure to competitions and a lot of training between judo and say Olympic wrestling. Yeah. So if you're looking from that point of view, then it really gets. So because of Ronda Rousey's experience in judo and the kind of experience exposure she gets in judo.
I would not be surprised if she's had like 1,000 matches.
Oh yeah.
She may have had 1,000 because she started competing very young. Whereas there's probably very few women, if any, that have 1,000 wrestling matches. I not that there's that many men that have that either. Nobody, but I mean, she's special, like really special. I mean, like her parents, her mom was a judo champion.
And she's highly competitive as well. So she's always trying to push herself. Push herself beyond limits and etc. So I think she's a true marksman of like somebody who's really good at what she does.
Well, so anyway, whatever the theory, we all agree she's wonderful.